Westbrook last night played pretty well, right? And I know what you're saying. Colin, I told you so. No. We told you so. We told you on a Wednesday night in November, minutes, passion, production, hustle, Westbrook's amazing. Westbrook is a lot of things. Just not somebody I want with the ball, fourth quarter, big playoff game, 2:30 left, need a bucket, need good judgment, need a three. He's no good. Very few players are all things. Steph Curry, LeBron in his prime, they're all things. You know, it's funny, in football, we understand there are sides, offense and defense, special teams. There are units, offensive line, linebacking unit. There are positions, wide receiver, running back. In basketball, it's like, we're just all out here hooping. No, it's kind of like football. Andre Drummond, there'll be no three-pointers from you. Russell Westbrook, give me passion and give me minutes. I don't want you handling the ball when LeBron's on the floor. Basketball's got a lot of that, too. All of our lives are like that. You got your fun friend, your party friend, your Vegas friend, your friend you trust if you have to go to the doctor, and you're a little woozy, you want to drive home. There's your wisdom friend. There's, I just broke up. I need some empathy. I need some love friend. We all got different spaces and people. And with Westbrook, I'm not anti-Westbrook. I'm just anti-Westbrook in crisis, fourth quarter, playoffs in June. I need a three or a great judgment. I'm not anti-Westbrook. I actually was pro-Westbrook to the Lakers. In fact, last night's a classic example. I went over and looked at the minutes this morning. Well, you had Carmelo Anthony. You had him playing 38 minutes. You had Anthony Davis playing 45 minutes. You had Malik Monk playing 35. Avery Bradley playing 40 minutes. You don't win that game without Westbrook last night. Last night was the great example why you brought Westbrook in. 80's brittle. The bench is old. LeBron gets hurt more. We need Westbrook. And you do not win that game without Westbrook. Here's the thing. I would love to have a convertible sports car. Not in winter. Some things I love. Some things I like. I don't need them all the time. I can't use them all the time. And I think even the people who love Westbrook, who play with Westbrook, who recruited Westbrook, because he played well last night. Anthony Davis, a great example. Listen to this. He loves him. He plays with him. He talks to him. He practices with him. But he knows what he is. Yeah, I mean, like everybody knows it. He's relentless and he has a lot of turnovers. And you can't close your eyes, cross your fingers in big spots. You know, when you stop trying to convince people to think like you in politics and sports, you're a lot less miserable. I used to, with Westbrook, try to convince you what he was. And then the data and the games proved what he was. I'm no longer in the trying to convince you Westbrook is what he was. This is it. You see it. And Wednesday night in November at home, LeBron hurt. I need 38 minutes from Carmelo off the bench. You do not win that game without Westbrook. I think seeding in the West this year will be more important. I don't think LeBron's in his prime where he can go on the road and just dominate a series, turn it on and play 44 nights a minute. I think home court advantage is going to matter against a team like Golden State if you're the Lakers. I think home court advantage doesn't matter against the Denver Nuggets going up into that altitude. I think you want to play more games at home than on the road. I think home court advantage is going to matter against the Dallas Mavericks. So yes, it's not a told you so. It's a we told you so. This is what Westbrook was. This is why he's in Los Angeles. Last night is exactly why. But when LeBron comes back, he won't be taking those shots. He won't be getting those minutes. He won't have the ball in crisis or shooting big threes. So Odell Beckham, apparently like 8 teams have made offers. They've gone out and said, we like him. And it's interesting because there was no NFL on Tuesday. There was no NFL last night. The game tonight could be a blowout. So this midweek, there's not a lot to talk about. So OBJ is actually, for us, kind of a fascinating topic. But you do all understand all 8 teams vying for him. And I think Green Bay is the most interesting. I think New England, New Orleans make the most sense. Y'all understand he's no longer one-handed catch Odell. Happiness is about expectations. Just lower your expectations. He is brittle. He kind of freelances on routes. He got a case of the drops in Cleveland. And as I was told by an executive and a scout, both who faced him earlier this year, you can put single coverage on him. Saints, New England, he absolutely fills a void. But he is not a number one receiver in the NFL. He is, unless you may talk New England, he's not a number one receiver on all the good teams in the NFL. I don't think he's a 2 receiver on most of the good teams in the NFL. So just lower expectations, understand what you're getting. He is a 5-target, 3-catch. Can you get a couple of big plays out of him if you're the Patriots and you do almost everything else well? That'd be great. And they have no deep threat. New Orleans, can he be an over-the-top, a couple reverses, get him 9 looks, used as a decoy for a team that's got a really mediocre wide receiving core? That works. Now, I think Green Bay is fascinating, mostly because they've gotten really noisy this year. They've got a dominant one. I think Matt LaFleur is clever. And Aaron Rodgers mostly makes all receivers kind of work if he trusts them. Like Randall Cobb feels shot. But he had a great game already. He'll end up with about 45 catches this year. That's fine for a guy that's kind of a 4 to a 5 receiver on most teams. But this is about expectations. People are getting all worked up about this. Here's what Fox Bet Sportsbook has as the current favorites. Green Bay number 1, Chiefs, Saints 2, Seahawks, Patriots, Ravens, any other number 7. Now, it is interesting. I will say this. In free agency, it's a lot like recruiting in college. There is some gamesmanship. And I was just talking to Reggie Bush about this yesterday. I said, why did you choose USC? He said, I didn't have USC on my list initially. He played high school football in San Diego. He goes, I didn't have him in my top 5. And USC, Pete Carroll brought him up with a receiver named Renee Caldwell. Only 2 of them came up for the recruiting weekend. USC made it a big recruiting weekend. He goes, I left that place, and I was like, wow, that's where I'm going. They made it a special Reggie Bush recruiting weekend. So New England right now is doing a little gamesmanship. You know how with the Patriots, nothing ever gets out? Players don't talk, coaches don't talk, Belichick doesn't talk. What's interesting about New England now, you're seeing a lot of people talking about Odell Beckham, and it's getting onto social media. Is that New England, stuff gets out only when they want it out, New England letting OBJ know, man, everybody's talking about you at practice. We can't wait to have Odell Beckham. I think New England really wants him and is putting on a little gamesmanship. Albert Breer suggested that this morning on the interweb. We're going to have him on in 15 minutes. I think it's a little gamesmanship. I think New England wants him. I really do think he fills a need. He checks a box, which they don't have anybody over the top. He'd be what Nelson Aguilar cannot be. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.